Your ring says your readiness is 31. You feel fine. You felt fine 10 seconds ago. Health wearables have gone from counting steps to sitting on your finger like a tiny doctor, and now health wearables come with an artificial intelligence that writes you a small paragraph about your soul every morning. So the question, are health wearables actually making you healthier or just making you anxious with extra steps? Quick explainer on what these things actually do because it matters. Your watch or ring is not measuring your sleep. It cannot see your brain. What it has is a light shining into your skin to estimate your pulse, a motion sensor to see how much you are wriggling, and a temperature sensor. Then, a model takes those signals and guesses what stage of sleep you are in. It is an estimate built on top of an estimate, which is fine. It is just not the same as measurement. And the little pie chart really wants you to think it is. Two teams have formed. Team Track Everything says this is the biggest shift in personal health in a generation. Team Take It Off says you have bought a machine that invents a number and then charges you a subscription to feel bad about it. Team Track Everything first, and their case is strong. They have 3 points. 1. For most of human history, your health data was one snapshot every few years in a doctor's waiting room. Now, you get continuous data from your own body in your own life for a few £100. That is genuinely new, and it catches things. Wearables have flagged irregular heart rhythms in people who had absolutely no idea, which is the kind of thing that quietly prevents strokes. 2. And this is their strongest point, bigger than any single feature. Wearables are extremely good at showing you direction. You cannot feel a slow decline. You can feel a number going down for 6 weeks. When people see their resting heart rate creeping up after a month of bad habits, they actually change something. Behavior change is the hardest problem in health, and a wrist that nags gently is one of the few things that reliably works. 3. The newest version of that argument is the artificial intelligence layer. Researchers building models on enormous amounts of wearable data have found something genuinely interesting. The behavior patterns, how much you move, how consistent your routine is, often predict health outcomes better than the raw sensor readings do. Your habits are a better signal than your heart rate. That is a real finding, and it makes the case that these devices are useful for reasons nobody expected. Now, Team Take It Off, and they have receipts. They have 2 points. 1. When researchers compare consumer wrist trackers against a proper sleep lab, agreement on sleep stages comes out as fair to moderate, not terrible, not good. And the weakest part is detecting when you were actually awake. So the device that told you your deep sleep was disappointing may not have known you were lying there staring at the ceiling. 2. The phenomenon that gave this whole thing a name. In 2017, sleep researchers coined the term orthosomnia. It describes people who become so fixated on getting a perfect sleep score that the fixation itself starts ruining their sleep. It was a small clinical curiosity. It is not small anymore. More than a third of adults now track their sleep, and sleep specialists list this as a genuine clinical concern, not a joke. You lie awake at 1 a.m. worrying that your tracker is recording a bad night, and by worrying, you guarantee it. Let us do the fair deep dive on the claim that sounds most scientific, which is that your watch can screen for conditions. This one is interesting because both teams are partly right. Sleep apnea detection is a real example. The Apple Watch received clearance from the American regulator in 2024 for detecting breathing disturbances consistent with moderate to severe sleep apnea. That is a proper regulatory bar, not marketing. And a smartwatch algorithm tested for that job hit roughly 92% sensitivity and specificity for moderate to severe cases. But read the second half of that sentence, because nobody does. The same algorithm systematically underestimated mild cases. So it is good at catching the obvious ones and unreliable at catching the subtle ones. That is what screening is. It is a filter, not a diagnosis. Same with the heart feature. Your watch takes a single lead reading. A hospital uses 12. It can raise its hand. It cannot tell you what is wrong. And here is the part that has actually changed, and it is the reason this topic is different in 2026. It is no longer a number. It is a paragraph. The artificial intelligence layer takes a fair to moderate estimate and writes you a confident sentence about it. Your body is under strain today. Consider a lighter session. That sentence sounds like it came from a person who knows something. It came from a model sitting on top of a guest sitting on top of a light shining at your wrist. The uncertainty does not vanish when the writing gets better. It just gets harder to see. Write 4 wearable myths, and these are the ones causing the most unnecessary panic. Myth 1. Your watch measures your sleep stages. It does not. It estimates them from your movement and your pulse using a light shining into your skin. Nobody is reading your brainwaves through a wrist strap. Myth 2. A low readiness score means you should skip training. That score came from a model that does not know you slept badly because of a thunderstorm, or that you have a cold, or that you are simply having a Tuesday. If you feel good, you are allowed to feel good. Myth 3. My watch caught a heart problem, so it is a diagnostic device. It's screened. Screening is genuinely brilliant, and it is not the same thing. Your watch takes a single lead reading. A hospital uses 12. Take the alert to a doctor, not to the comments. Myth 4. These devices work the same for everyone. They do not. The optical sensors that read your pulse and your blood oxygen through your skin are less accurate on darker skin tones and in people with poorer circulation in their hands. That is a known limitation, and it cuts both ways: false alarms and false reassurance. That is the myths dealt with. Now the part that actually matters. And the honest answer depends on one thing. Wearables are a trend detector, not a diagnostic. Used as a trend detector, they are one of the best health tools most people will ever own. Used as a verdict on your body on a single morning, they are a machine that generates anxiety with a very nice user interface. Practical takeaway. Look at weekly averages, not nightly scores. That is what sleep specialists actually recommend, and it is the single biggest upgrade you can make. Change one thing at a time, otherwise you are just watching noise. Set a baseline over a few weeks before you believe anything. And if your device flags something like an irregular rhythm, take that seriously and take it to a doctor. That is what it is for. And the honest one, if checking the number changes your mood more than the sleep did hide the score, take it off for a week. A tool that makes you feel worse than the thing it measures is not a tool, it is a situationship. Nothing here is medical advice, and if health anxiety is genuinely getting on top of you, that is worth talking to someone about. So are you team track everything or team take it off? Subscribe to Health You Decide, tell us in the comments the worst score you have ever woken up to, and go and have a completely unmeasured night.